Hey guys, it's me McLean. Surprise, I know I said I wasn't going to do a stream today, but I figured I could do a quick one about this printing I've got going on here, because this is actually the MCU shell here that I've got in multiple different chunks, because the printer can only print in a certain size dimension, and so you have to split your models up to be put together later. This one just finished. I tried to get the live stream going before it finished, but it just finished like a minute ago. But I've still got my other one here working on the back. This is the back last portion of the shell, but it's exciting to be able to pull this off while you guys are here. I'm just holding my phone this time, so it's a little more complicated. Yeah, this is a little quick teaser stream on this is the MCU shell that I've designed so far, based off that photogram I was working on from the last stream when I was marking up that ASM1 shell. This is the result. I designed this shell based on that, and here we go. So yeah, here we go. That's the top half. We'll see if I can put these together at all with one hand, because I'm not using my my rig here. I'll just bring them inside. How about that? That's easy. Oh, my TV's on. Oh, that's funny. Look what's on TV here. Great, now this video is going to get taken off the internet because it had 1 second of that movie playing. So I designed little like puzzle piece notches here. See if I'll be able to. They have little supports in them. Ooh, those fit together pretty well here. I just have to clear out those little supports. That looks pretty cool. Yeah, so this is my first full-sized face shell that I've 3D printed. I wish I could put it together a little bit more and get it onto the mannequin, but I'll have photos of that in just a second. Hey Chris, what's up? Shout out to all you guys who are here checking out the stream. Peel this support out, that's what I'm doing, because I had to print it with a support so that when these two parts met, it didn't cause a bunch of issues. So you just have to like kind of build little towers and stuff that support everything. But yeah, shell vision. Here, I'm gonna set down the camera for 1 second here. You look at the ads here on eggs. Ooh, that's a good price on organic milk. This is the junk mail that I use as a background for when I do photogrammetry, because this type of junk mail makes a really good like high contrast background for the photogrammetry program to base stuff on. Right, just try to get these kind of stuck together really fast. Ooh, there we go. Okay, sorry about that, but it's a little stretched out because I haven't perfectly cleaned up those connection points. But for the most part, it's just lacking the back portion of the face shell at this point, and it's not perfectly on. But you can put it on the mannequin head. See how that looks. Oh wait, I want to see the. Oops. Here, you can look at the floor this time. Look at my comfy slippers that I put on when I get home. I'm like Mr. Rogers. I don't think the mannequin's face is gonna fit in here right now. Okay, well, that might have been it for my quick little fast stream here that just shows off how these two pieces go together. Yeah, so I'm excited to see, like I showed you. Okay, whoops. I designed it with sort of a 3D puzzle piece connection method here, so I'm excited to see how that works as far as connecting the two pieces, just for gluing and sanding and everything. Because when you connect pieces like this, it's always sort of a weak spot. It might be good to put like fiberglass or something inside to back it up, but I'm pretty excited about it. And then also the ability to just have it printed from Shapeways, just in one giant shell, just that one one long, just like one solid face shell piece. Shapeways can do that. Yeah, sorry, I haven't really been paying too much attention to the comments, guys. But yeah, so this is just kind of like a little preview of what 3D printed shells could be like, because it only took me, after I did the photogram on Sunday of this shell, it only took me like 2 or 3 hours to design this face shell. So as soon as I can start getting these things going and having them for sale on Shapeways, and then also for sale on just the STL file, so you can do this. You can print basically this exact shell. And this one's a little bit bigger in size for my head. Yeah, this will be available a little later on. I'm not going to release it right away, but once I've got it fine-tuned and stuff, I will definitely release the file and stuff. Well, you know, I have to consider it because it could, if I release the file for sale, it might disappear really fast. So I have to consider if I'm just going to do it on Shapeways or what. This is for the MCU. I did some modifications. This was the ASM1, and it can be modified back to the ASM1, but I did some modifications to make it into the MCU one. Like it's got, here, I'm trying to get it, here we go, that's okay. It's a little rounder in its shape, and then the chin piece is a lot rounder too. Here, if I can get the photogram over here. So you can kind of compare the two of these side by side like this. And the advantage is, like, this one is way more symmetrical. Like, I learned just like, you can, when you're looking at this one, you can see how it kind of curves in a little more there. It kind of bulges out a little on this side. Like, while I was modeling, I had to decide while I was making it symmetrical which components of which side I liked. And then I was able to make the chin a little bit rounder than it is on this one. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show that, but it's a little rounder. The nose kind of flattens out a little bit more, and it's, you know, it's a little more like round of a shape. The MCU one, he has like a very spherical head, so I kind of tried to get that spherical head into there. But yeah, it's basically just the MCU face shell for a face shell here, because it's a little bit bigger too, because I designed this one for me, but I also am playing with being able to resize the shell, because I resized the shell, but I kept the lens opening the same size so that all the components and stuff will be the same size. If you were to really resize it like down to small, like really small, then you'd want to resize the lens openings. But also, yeah, Dalton just had a comment about like something to, I think he said something about a button to connect the two halves. Really, this is not for a temporary connection. You'd have to glue these together. For the moving lenses specifically, you'd have to glue these together. But what I did do is this shell, what's printing out in the garage, is the rest of the curve. Like, it has a couple more inches like this other shell. But I did design this one so that it has the full head shape, ears included. So what this one will do is basically where this one ends, there will be a second half that has the ears and the back of the head, and it'll be hinged at the top. Yeah, Derek said that if I get rid of this test print, he'd be interested. Yeah, this one might just be for me, or it might be the one for Alex, depending on how it ends up looking. Alex won the contest a year ago, and so I still need to get that out to him. This is still only 1/8 of an inch. I just had a comment about if you're gluing it, is it still easy to wear? Yeah, you just need to use like a really strong glue or an epoxy here, and you see it goes together into a pretty seamless shape. And then I'm also going to be designing it with some more sort of teeth. If you think about a tooth that comes out of this and then lines up against this flat edge so that it gives it some overlap and some strength. This is kind of like that, this little puzzle piece, this male puzzle piece component, but it'll have more stuff that'll structurally secure it, because like right now you'd want to put some component between the two. Yeah, so there you go. You'd want to put some component between the two that would strengthen it and make it a little sturdier. But yeah, I'll glue these together and have some more pictures with it, like all together, because I want to because now pretty much all that's left is to get all the components in there for the moving lenses. I saw, like, around a year ago when people were talking about this stuff, people mentioned that, you know, these black sort of plastic notebooks are really good. That plastic is good. That was a really good observation. I use I use a very similar type of plastic for some stuff that I do, because it has this very awesome just flat look to it. I use a very similar type of plastic, but I'd never thought to use these notebooks, and it's nice because it's already black. But the good thing about this stuff is that it's very thin, but it's very sturdy structurally. Like it doesn't want to collapse in on itself very easily. So this will be very good material for the different components of the moving lenses going in and out, because you want it to be as thin as possible. My first set of lenses, what I did was I actually took liquid plastic and I poured it over a flat piece of silicone, and I just let the liquid plastic pool and create a really thin sheet, but it still wasn't even thin enough for what I needed, and it wasn't consistent, and there were also some bubbles. So I saw that on the RPF that someone had mentioned. I'm not sure who, but you guys have been talking about these folders for a while, and they work really well. Yeah, I found these, like, this was 5-star. You have to be careful. You can probably see it in the video. I don't know if they use this same machine for, like, extruding their plastic for some other glitter, but you can see the glitter in the plastic here. This other notebook, this is like a divider. Oh wait, no, that's the same brand. I don't know where the other one went. But this one has less glitter in it, either way. So you have to pay attention to that, and you need to get enough that this one might have some glitter in it too. I got a couple different kinds of, like, organizers and stuff, because there are also different thicknesses of this plastic. So that'll come up soon. And that's exciting, because, you know, the next couple of streams are going to be me building this thing and talking about how the components and stuff go together, because, you know, it's pretty simple after this, and once you have the shell. So it's going to be really, you know, it's going to be exciting that this is going to be so accessible. Because one thing I was worried about was that in order to do this properly, you need the base, you need the shell. And so one thing that is good about this is that, here, hold on 1 second. Let me get my other hand back really fast. My place is a little messy. When I get in work mode, it gets messy. Okay, so sort of like that. I just need to trim out that little component, because I printed it like this, so I had to actually print a support in there for the little knob. Well, I hate messing with plastics like this when I don't have gloves on, because that's how I always cut my fingers. I probably need to cut this out. Maybe. You can see there's a little bit of a gap in there. Oh, it's kind of separating, because I also designed this support structure underneath, and I designed it so that there was a little bit of a gap. So the printer actually did print them as two separate objects, but if they're too close, then the filament will still rest on the other object and kind of join to it. But yeah, this is exciting. So I was also thinking, since I've got my printers, maybe a third thing I'll do is actually sell these printed components so people can
kind of like kit form. This is black PLA plastic, but I'm definitely going to recommend that people use ABS. ABS is a lot stronger. It's a little difficult to print with. With like my Annette, it's a little difficult because you have to keep ABS plastic really hot while you're printing. But ABS is what the face shells that, the vacuum formed face shells are made out of, and it's a really strong, high quality plastic. I just need like pliers or something and stop messing with this. There we go. Oh, come on, get out of there. Jeez. Yeah, I need pliers or something. But where are they going to be? Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, so I hadn't really even planned on doing a stream today. Everything's messy. But I was excited about the print being done, and whatever. These streams are so easy to do. It's fun to just kind of check in with you guys. Sorry that I didn't set up my comments. I can't really see what you guys are saying right now since I moved to my hands-free camera. So, get some tape. Got a lot of it over here. Oh yeah, here, let me try cutting that out. Yeah, I'm curious what you guys are saying. My nice pink little jewelry snips here. It's hard to find kits of jewelry tools that aren't like colored, fluorescent, girly colors. I guess there's a specific market for those. Okay, so that should make that connect a little bit better. Still needs to be like sanded and stuff probably, because I didn't do much to get their sizes together. Yeah, that's going to need some like sanding and stuff to get those perfect. But I can still tape it for now. This is definitely a learning process. It's fun. That's what I enjoy about all of this. It's like a game where you learn the best way to do stuff and also the stuff not to do. I might end up just having to cut that little puzzle piece off. Who knows? I just wanted to try it. Okay, so now I get to kind of see how the shell looks. Oh, also, I get to test how close I got to going through the photogrammetry process. Wow. Pretty close. Not perfect. But yeah, that's the lens opening based just totally off the photogram. Almost fits perfectly inside there. It looks like it's a little different up here at the tip, but that's why I printed this test shell, so that I'll be able to get to see that. Okay, so let's get that on there. Yeah, the table still has all the stuff from the photogram process that I did, and also my nephew's helmet that I'm working on. Another great thing about 3D print is it'll definitely grip your mask the way Plastidip will. So if that's something you want, it definitely has that. Oh, the fabric's making it collapse in on itself. Spandex is pretty rough on face shells. Face shells have to be pretty sturdy. Okay. Put that on the outside, I guess? Yeah, I'm going to put this on the outside. It's not sticking in the right spot. Ugh, I just want to see how it looks. fighting me. There we go, jeez. Okay, come on. I love this stage though. Learning what stuff is best, what techniques are best. That's the most fun. Okay. On top. And come on. Ugh. I bet this is annoying to watch. Sure it's not fun to watch me struggle with this live. Come on. Okay. Whatever. Hopefully it'll just stick together with enough tape. Be good. Okay, that looks a little better. Still not perfect, but a little better. Ugh, rough edges. It's getting caught. Ugh, super rough. Jeez. Can't believe that's like a freaking saw blade. Wow. So probably better to go through and give this a bit of sanding. All right, there we go. Finally. Wow, that looks really good. Minus the seam you can see, but that's going to be visible until that gets sanded and glued and everything and perfected. There we go. So now I can kind of find the inner eye hole there. Okay, I think that placement's off a little bit. Like so. Where'd the other one go? Oh, it's on here. And this is a good opportunity to see the... Oh, I have the mask way off here. Trying to find that corner. Okay. Derek commented, I think it was Derek, commented on Facebook that maybe the eye holes needed to be a little further apart. And I can totally see how you'd think that from that photo that I posted. They definitely look very close together, but I based it off of my test mask and all of that. And I measured it. I even, I had a pretty precise measurement and put that in the program. So it did look a little close together. But I think in the end, okay, it's hard to get them to stick there, but it looks pretty good. I think that's going to be a good base for the moving lenses. And then, the fact that was only a day of 3D printing with 2 printers, because it's still printing. So, like, if you only had one printer, it'd take a couple days to print all the components, but that's much faster still than I can ever get products out to people. And then if you don't have a printer, I think I'm still going to open a Shapeways store. The thing about Shapeways is that I'm checking right now. I have this shell uploading to see how much it just costs to have the shell printed. It might be like over $100 in material just to have this shell alone printed. So that's not, if you think about how much we pay for shells right now anyway, that's not that bad. But compared to just printing your own. So there's the front. I can pull it off. Front. And then the cool thing about printing a full face shell, you have to consider that it's cut off pretty well right there. The cool thing about the fact that this is going to be a full face shell is that you can kind of just have the mask, the way the mask is designed and the facial is designed, it's just going to be a head. It's just going to be like a helmet, like a Spider-Man helmet, a super thin Spider-Man helmet that, it'll be hinged in the back so you'll be able to stretch your head in, but part of the moving lens components will come out of there. So it'll basically just be a helmet that'll be able to sit like on a table, sort of, like a face shell can do already. And then, it'll be able to, just slip on really easily because the spandex kind of keeps it hinged together. Like the spandex will act as the elastic that keeps it pressed together. And then the two halves will kind of lock into each other well enough that they don't, overlap or squeeze together or anything. And then you can just resize it if it's too big on your head or if it's too small. So I'm really, really excited about 3D printing and the future for it. Because it's so easy for me to design different shells. I could make moving lenses for giant comic. It could get complicated based on how big the shutters need to be. But I could really, like, the sky's the limit here, and especially if I'm not spending all my time just making more and more of the same thing, I can make a catalog of 3D printable shells, and then you guys can just make them from home. That is like the obvious solution here to me. So, cool. Yeah. I want to say, since I'm only this far, it's Tuesday and I'm only this far, I might not have the moving shell ready by Thursday. All I really need to do is install it at this point once the shell is all put together. But that might still be a little soon. There's still some other shell work and stuff I'm working on. So, the plans are still up in the air, but I think everyone will be pretty happy with the pace of things going forward up until the movie. I'm going to get into some cool work in the future here. So it's been fun. Sorry I haven't been able to really... Sorry I haven't been able to kind of read your comments. I just caught one comment, and I will say... one reason, I know that you guys want the moving shell tutorial. I know that you want it. But one thing I have to be careful of, and I've had this happen to me in the past, is if I kind of like go out there and teach people how to, puff paint their suits, or I sell prints, and I don't kind of get out there and, publicize it myself, people get out there before me. And what ends up happening is they get the credit. And that's kind of already... happen in a lot of different things, and it's even not necessarily if they're out there claiming they did it, they just take kind of passive credit. So that's kind of what I'm worried about in this situation, is that I rush to teach you guys how to do it, and then one of you guys that has more followers than I do or something builds one, and then you kind of get the credit for that. And I know that sounds lame and stuff, but I've had it happen to me so many times at this point that it's kind of like, I'm going to build the moving lenses, and then we'll see what the pace goes from there. But yeah, Dalton just said, "Did you get my email?" I might have. I might not have gotten it. I honestly, I've gotten kind of quite a few in the last few days, and I've been focusing on the face shell. And then also, I threw my back out a few days ago, and it's been slowing me down. So that's part of why I've been working on like the face shell file on my computer. And I know you guys just want to learn how to make the moving lenses and stuff because you're excited about the movie. So we'll definitely, if you look at things in the grander perspective of things, I definitely think the tutorial is going to be done before June, or definitely before the movie. I hate to move the goalposts out like that, but I want to kind of go at it a little more naturally, a little more organically, I guess, maybe, I don't know. But definitely I'll get out there, and you'll have it for the movie, you'll have it for Halloween, you'll have it after that. But I just need to kind of, take ownership of it for a little while before I run out and teach everyone how to do it. But I am excited to have the 3D printable shell file, basically, and it'll have more ventilation holes. I'm also going to design the moving mouth into the print. So the way the print will be designed, it'll actually be able to do the moving mouth and hopefully maintain this nice smooth look to it while still being able to move the mouth and also having enough room for all the mechanics for the lenses. But yeah, so I'm really excited about the progress already, and this is also the ASM1 face shell. There's a couple things to be modified, but that's why I designed based on this photogram here of this face shell. Photogrammetry is awesome. I explained that in another shell, but you can see that I'm sorry, I'm kind of getting into my own light here. I need to bring more lights up, but you can see that they're pretty similar shapes and stuff. I altered the shape a little bit for the MCU, but pretty close. And then I'll kind of bring it back for the ASM1 shape. But basically, at the end of the month, at least at the end of the month, I'm expecting to have like the catalog of all three shells available in have available for you guys to print or have someone print. I think Derek said that this one still has a good MCU look to it. Yeah, I did the photogram of this just to kind of get the general shape and size and stuff. But then, I started to pay more attention to reference photos from the MCU. So, I made the shape of the head and, the shape of the chin and all that. I paid attention, that one photo of him laying down to get a really good consistent nose shape up into the eyes. So, I spent a lot of time really making sure that it's close. These lenses keep sliding out of the eye hole. But I still, based on what's going on with the eye hole and up here in the corner, I have to adjust either the shape of the hole on the model or adjust the shape in my lens. It might be my lens that needs to be adjusted, who knows. But it's exciting to know that you have a place like that to work from. And then once that happens, it's just a matter of cutting out the components for the moving shutter pieces and stuff. Oh, another really key thing that 3D printing is going to be really good about is getting a really streamlined, flat look to all of the movement and everything. Because one thing that I think there's only a couple of moving lens shells out there, and then my last one didn't have a lot of movement to it compared to some of the other ones nowadays. But one thing no one is very successful at is the depth. Everyone has super deep, like half-inch deep eyes with their lenses really sunken in, and it really kind of ruins the streamline look. It changes the look of the mask a lot. And so I'm really excited with 3D printing to be able to print the lens inside of the face shell just perfectly, like a perfect depth, like 3 or 4 millimeters maybe, for all of the moving lens components to just keep it really nice. And then the lens will basically be up where this paper is at. And my idea is to design the lens large enough that it creates an entire inner housing, the inner surface for all of the moving components. Like if you think of the components moving, just flat in space, you wouldn't get that curved movement. But with the lens being the base for the movement, everything will move on top of that lens, and it'll give it a really flat shape. So I'm going to 3D print that as well, that kind of inner structure, and vacuum form it with clear plastic. But it's going to be really exciting to have that. That's kind of like one of the only other components that you'd need for if this were a kit. You'd be able to get just the shell. You'd probably be able to just cut out your own lens components, and then the inner lens plastic. So hopefully, I've never really successfully sold shells, as anyone who's bought from me in the past ever in the last few years. I've always kind of like talked about like, oh yeah, it's gonna be so cool, it's gonna have all this stuff, but then when it comes time to manufacturing it, I don't have the necessary stuff, and I'm not really interested in making a business around manufacturing this stuff. So it's one of those things where this stuff is all such a solution to be able to just have the online catalog of stuff to do print and design yourself. So yeah, that's basically this stream. He's kind of missing top of his head. I could also put it on, see how that looks, because it was designed for my head. I have to be careful though, because some of that structure in there might be a little stabby. All right. Wow. Okay, not too bad. Let's see here. Needs to come forward a lot. And it also needs a lens. Well, we'll see. Can't get it to move down. It's like Velcroed. It basically is Velcroed at the top. Jeez. Cool. Yeah, that's gonna work. I think. Pretty well. Pretty happy with the shape and everything. Whoa, look at that weird shape that it has. I need to sand it. That's crazy. Yeah, definitely need to sand the shell. I also think the structure is kind of poking my nose and keeping it in a weird spot. There we go. That kind of helped it. So yeah, hopefully that works. We'll see. I'll keep testing it and glue it together. Yeah, it still looks weird, obviously, around the eye. It's getting kind of pulled apart. But as for a test, works pretty well. We'll see how definitely a lot of space for the moving components in here, which is nice. There's even, I mean, man, this is the most roomy face shell I've ever made, because I sized it for my own head specifically. But definitely the roomiest face shell I've ever made. So yeah, cool. Ow. I'm taking that thing off. Ouch. So there it is. A little bit of testing. I'll have to glue it together still. It is just destroying this test mask. It's so rough. Got a new note is always sand a shell before you try to put a mask on it, because it's basically like Velcro the way it's sticking to it. Cool. Yeah, I could probably just sit here trying to align that all day and it'll never work. So that gives me a starting point to decide if the lenses are big enough, if they're wide enough. And then, you know, another reason why I'm so excited about 3D printing is that if they aren't, if there's something that needs to be changed, I can change it. I can change it in an hour. And whereas my last face shells, I sculpted them out of clay and cast them. So if there was anything like that I needed to change, I'd have to take like Bondo or any body filler like that and you know, add the body to the shell and sand it and stuff. So it's pretty exciting, this whole process. So cool. Yeah, that was a nice little 40-minute stream on this shell and the process of 3D printing and stuff. Yeah, this is way misaligned right now. But whatever. The next time you see it, I'm sure it'll be a little more aligned. And then I also might throw together some non-moving lenses that can just kind of do what these are doing and just kind of sit in the lens hole. Cool. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in, guys. I think that's all for today. It was a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. I'm actually going to
bring the stream up on my computer. That way I'm able to see all the comments and stuff afterwards. If I don't bring the stream up on my computer, then it's just all kind of lost. So, boom, there we go. Got that there. Now I can see all your comments. Cool. So thanks for tuning in, guys, for this last minute stream that I hadn't even really planned on. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon, either on Thursday or who knows. We'll see. So see you then. Thanks.